Thank you, Victor. That was lovely. So my talk this morning is surviving the holidays. If you listen carefully, you can almost hear the panic in the streets. And yes, the holidays, they're coming up sooner than normal. It seems even before people take their pumpkins in from Halloween, they're already putting up Christmas lights. And I have a theory about that. I think that our culture, our society is in such need of a little bit of respite from all the turmoil and confusion that we're starting things earlier. And that's okay too. Now, my teacher, Kennedy Schultz, he gave this talk when I first started coming to our teaching, and I was kind of amazed about it because it was the first time that I had heard a spiritual teacher talking about the holidays being stressful. But it's a truth we need to recognize and to acknowledge, particularly when we have events coming up that we're surrounded with family and with expectations. I remember one Thanksgiving, I had invited a lot of friends over and I had family, and I had envisioned a wonderful meal surrounded by interesting conversation, brilliant ideas, and that was my expectations. My niece showed up with her new little baby, and my sister and her husband scarfed the food down as quickly as they could, and they were soon on the floor talking baby talk with the baby and ignoring everybody else. This is what happens. There's a great book that's come out by Mel Robbins, and it's called Just Let Them. Just Let Them. And she wrote in it, you don't have to match anyone's energy, not their chaos, not their expectations, not their timelines. Just let them be where they are and stay where you need to be. Now, this is the opposite of what we're told by what we're supposed to expect this time of year. The season is supposed to be perfect. But perfection is not something we experience, it's something we proclaim. The magic of the season does not come to us, it comes through us. When we choose to be channels of Spirit's blessings right where we are, right as we are. I spent Thanksgiving up in Dayton, Ohio. It was 32 degrees up there. Thankfully, we got out of there because Tuesday it's headed down to 14 degrees. So we were out Friday morning. We were looking for a Christmas tree with my niece, and she had taken us out to this Christmas tree farm, and it was cold. The wind was blowing, and after 45 minutes of her looking for the perfect Christmas tree, we were all frozen like popsicles. But tying the tree onto the car was a young man, and he was all in the right clothes, so he was very comfortable. And his mom owns the tree farm. And he couldn't have been happier. He was humming Christmas tunes. He was very helpful. He wished us all a great Christmas. He hugged us. And I thought to myself, this is perfection. This is perfection. This is what you have to do. You have to recognize perfection wherever it is, wherever you see it. Now, this isn't the message we get from Hollywood or Madison Avenue. I always love this time of the year, the expensive car commercials you see, with the perfect couple and a perfect house, and the guy wakes up his wife. Well, we hope it's his wife. No judgment, no judgment. And she has a ribbon that's been attached to her hand, and she follows the ribbon out, and there in the parking lot is the Lexus with a big bow on it. Where do you get those bows? I've never seen one. Where do you shop? What, is the Lexus dealership has bows? Yeah. And then, of course, the worst of it is the romantic holiday movies. You know the ones where the overlooked, frumpy girl with a heart of gold She's working away, low self-esteem. She's working away at the orphanage. She spends her weekends at the animal rescue. She has gay friends. They always have gay friends. She refuses their fashion advice. And one Christmas Eve, by chance, she runs into the misunderstood prince. And he's escaping his family because they want him to marry a rich banker because the kingdom needs some money. But he's determined to find true love for himself. You watch that kind of stuff, it'll drive you crazy. The next thing you know, you'll be sitting on the couch with an emergency bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken under one arm. Let the fantasy of a perfect holiday go. Let it go. Be realistic. Laugh. Let life be life. Or as Robin says, let them think it has to be perfect. You can choose peace instead. Choose peace. Now, I will confess, I love the holidays. I love the music. Oh, Holy Night is one of my favorite carols. I love Christmas shows. The Pinky and the Brain Christmas special is one of my favorite shows. I love the food, eggnog and red velvet cake. So I love all of it. But I will tell you this, I do have to be careful because there's such a buildup for the holidays, and then all of a sudden in one day it's over with. And so I, for myself, have to watch what post-holiday blues. And it's kind of interesting that we do this for Christmas. You don't ever hear anybody talk about they've got post-July 4th blues or post-Memorial Day blues. But there's so many expectations for this day. And so I think it's important, if you're susceptible to this, to have a strategy. Put a plan in place and start with it now. Don't wait till after the holidays. So I like to plan something special in January. Something fun, maybe a getaway, a project, or just something relaxing. Something for me. And of course, right after the decorations all come down, that's when we start working for the Venus Manley Scholarship Program. And that always brings my spirits up. If you need to feel better about yourself or life, here is a guaranteed way to do that. Go out and do something nice for someone. Stop worrying about something special happening for you. Make something special happen for someone else. Instead of looking for the blessing of God, become the blessing from Spirit. Now, one year, we had adopted a little 6-year-old boy for Christmas, and he had given us all his Christmas gifts. And the thing that we noticed is that he didn't really have very much. Most of the list was socks and underwear and clothes. Well, you know that came from his mom. And so we decided, we bought him some other things, and we hid a note from Santa Claus in it. And the note from Santa Claus said, Michael, I know you're working hard to be a good guy. I'm proud of you. I know it's hard to follow all the rules, but keep up the good work. And Rudolph and I will see you again next year. Love, Santa. Just being a source of encouragement, because you never know. You don't know how other people are struggling, how other people are just barely hanging on. So be willing to be a source of encouragement for those around you. Particularly for in retail, the people you deal in retail, and even the people that you have to deal with on the phone, calling you're dealing with phone banks. Be willing to be loving. Step out in love. And even when it feels uncomfortable, do it anyway. You'll feel better. In the Jewish tradition, there's an idea that the highest charity you can do is to do a kindness without expectation of any return. And to do it in a way that the people who receive the kindness never know where it's come from. And if you're not feeling okay this year, that's okay. That's okay. Some years are just not made for celebration. Some years the best you can do is just to get through one foot after another. And that too is holy. There's not a flaw because you're not feeling merry and happy. Some years it's just a matter of, getting frozen pizza and watching Star Wars from end to end, or The Godfather. If that's what seems right to you, then do that and be okay with it. Robin said, let this be the year you stop forcing yourself to enjoy things you don't enjoy. You don't have to do that. And if that means not going to visit Aunt Edna, who's never had a kind word to say to anybody, then don't do it. And if you do, then set some guidelines for yourself. Stay only as long as you feel imbalanced. And just like if you were to go to a hot zone with, infections, inoculate yourself. Inoculate yourself. Make sure you go in fully strong and fully empowered and fully pumped up, and refuse to be triggered. If somebody says something that really is insulting, just let it slide by. You don't have to give it energy. You don't have to attach to it. Just let it slide over you. And celebrate in a way that's right for you, something that you enjoy. I had a Jewish friend in Atlanta, and she said she celebrated Christmas Day by cleaning her house from top to bottom. Well, that's okay, but you don't want to go into the new year smelling like Lysol. I had other Jewish friends, and they said, well, we wake up late, we go out to Chinese restaurant, and then we go to a movie. That sounds a lot better. If you don't want to celebrate it, fine, but you don't make it painful. Enjoy it in the way that you can enjoy. And don't spread your discomfort. If having people happy and singing Christmas carols drive you mad, just ignore it and let it go on. Don't impose your discomfort on anybody. And make sure in all you're doing, you do something nice for yourself. Robin said, let them celebrate how they want. You celebrate how you need. So do something nice for yourself. And make sure of all the presents you give out, you also give a present for yourself. Maybe it's a massage. Maybe it's a book. If I'm feeling really nostalgic, it's a bag of cheese crystals. I used to buy my nieces in Macon. Do something good for yourself. And while it's wonderful to revisit good memories, be careful not to romanticize the past. For years, I longed for the Christmases I had in Macon when I was a young man, really. I would come home from D.C. Our house would be full of family and friends coming and going. They were wonderful holidays. And for years, I longed for those Christmases. And finally, I had a revelation that what I had done is I had taken separate memories from seasons and I had stitched them all together and said, that's what Christmas was. But that really wasn't the truth, because there had been some years that things hadn't worked out. One year when I had a bad case of the flu. One year I was on the outs with, family members or friends. And so it wasn't true that they were all perfect. It was a trick of memory. Let the past be the past. Don't drag old expectations into a new season. And be gentle. Be present with now. This is what we all have, is the now. And remember the deeper message of the holiday, because this is a spiritual season. It's no coincidence that so many spiritual holidays happen at this time of the year. So the veil is thin, and this is a special time for us to deepen our spiritual practice and to be open to the goodness and signs and symbols that Spirit has for us. There is a new light coming into the world. That's what the holidays are all about. That in the darkest of times and the most unlikely of places and through the most ordinary people, a miracle occurred. And it's happening still. It just wasn't something 2,000 years ago. It happens now when we look for it and we acknowledge it. Many years ago, I was on Christmas Eve. I was at a convenience store, and there was a car next to me. It was an old clunker, and the hood was up and steam was pouring out of it. And a young man, he was there fiddling with the engine. And in the car was a young woman with a baby. And I thought to myself, this is the Holy Family. This is it. In the Christmas story, they always leave out, to me, one of the most obvious details. They leave it out. They said Joseph had to go back to Bethlehem because of a census. And they had to go back to his hometown, and there was no room in the inn. They didn't have Motel 6 in Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. There was no Holiday Inn. There was no room in the inn because his family had figured out the situation, and they weren't going to allow that pregnant woman in their house. That was the situation. And Joseph stuck with her. It could have been easy. It could have been easy for him to take in their advice. You can imagine what they said to Joseph. Oh, that big city girl, she's pulled one over on you. But he stuck with her. And together, they birthed in a miracle. A flicker of hope when no one was looking in the darkest of places. And that still is happening in our lives. This year, I've been shifting my own spiritual practice. I'm convinced that if we become agents of good, earth angels of good for people around us, Spirit's going to take care of us. Wasn't that the message of Christ? Don't worry. Look at the birds. Look at the lilies of the field. Go out and be the blessing you're called to be. And Spirit's going to take care of the rest. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to be willing. Robin says, let them be who they are. Let yourself become who you dream of. Let you be the person you're becoming, who Spirit has called forth. Spirit created you, called you by name from stardust. And it's never been disappointed by your mistakes or your challenges. It's far more impressed with your possibilities, with your courage and your conviction to love. Be the person God is calling you to be, and be brave about it. Don't hold back. Be bold. Be bold with your willingness to love, your willingness to be compassionate and joyful. The most important gift you can give anyone is just your intention, just by acknowledging them as worthy, as important, as needed and necessary. Just taking time with someone and letting them know they matter. So I was visiting my niece, and she has a 13-year-old guy. And I wanted to spend some time with him, and I wanted to make sure that I wanted him to know that I valued him. And so as I remembered a 13-year-old, what's really important to a 13-year-old, their music. And so I went down in the basement, and I asked him to put some of his music on and tell me why he really liked it. Well, a migraine later, We had made a connection. And it's okay. I got over the migraine. But it was important for him to know that I valued what he thought was important. And it was important for me to know what he's looking for, what he thinks is important. What people want from us is just acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. You are important. You matter. The truth of it is that we all matter. We all matter. The Christmas story, it says there's a band of angels saying to the frightened and scared shepherds. A band of angels. What do they sing to them? Don't be afraid. Just know that those angels are still singing for you. When we choose to be loving instead of judgmental, when we choose to be compassionate instead of angry, when we choose to see ourselves as bright, shining lights of God's possibility, those angels sing out. Christ rode in Jerusalem. The priest complained that the crowds were cheering his coming. When we choose to ride into the fullness of our spirit, it won't matter how the bitter and the cynical complain about our joy. The very stones themselves will sing out, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God with us. And it's what we've come to do. And our lives, our mission won't be complete until we've done it. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.